Could you tell me more about the U visa?
Some examples of U visa victims are the following. A common U visa victim will be a victim of a felonious assault, which is a felony assault, which goes beyond just a simple assault, and there has to be some aggravating factor, either a serious injury or the assault took place with a knife or a gun, for example. A second example is a victim of domestic violence, which is mental or physical abuse by a spouse or partner. And then a third common example for U visa victims are victims of human trafficking, which is a form of modern-day slavery. A common example is someone who's forced into labor against their will, or their employment is in violation of local or federal law, where wages are below minimum wage, where freedom can be restrained, such as domestic servants or maids, people working in the restaurant industry, and janitorial service.
Okay, and how about people who work as a helper in the household?
This is a really common example of forced human trafficking. Labor trafficking is what we call it. And there are many, many men and women who are forced against their will to work long hours and have their freedom of movement restrained in the household that are qualified to apply for either U visas or another specialized visa, which is called a T visa, which is specifically for victims of human trafficking. So I recommend that these applicants who are eligible seek assistance either through law enforcement or through an attorney or through their local community organizations or churches.
Leah, can you give us some example of human trafficking that you have handled the case?
We see many examples of forced trafficking, and we call it labor trafficking in the Bay Area. A common example are mainly women who come from other countries who were promised some things, usually high wages, that came to the United States under that presumption and are forced to work long hours, have had their freedoms restrained, such as freedom of movement, and are being paid under minimum wage. And that's a really common example of a U visa or a T visa victim that we see in the Bay Area that we can help.
Yeah, most of these people are, they don't have too much money. So the biggest worry is that, if they run away from their master, they may not have enough money to cover their living costs. So is there any way that an organization can help for those victims?
Yes, and this is a very serious issue, and it's very important that people feel security if they are to come forward and take control of their lives and cooperate with law enforcement. There are a number of organizations, and it's organized by county, and most counties in the Bay Area have human trafficking coalitions, which is a coalition and a cooperation between law enforcement and various community-based organizations to assist these victims. We know that these victims don't often have language skills, they don't have money, they don't have a community to turn to, so there are a number of resources such as immediate shelter and assistance for long-term housing, cash assistance, legal assistance, and job training.
I see. And are they pretty much spread out the entire U.S. or they are only in big urban area?
Trafficking happens everywhere. There's estimated 50,000 people that are trafficked into the United States every single year. Los Angeles area is the #1 destination for trafficked persons, and the next two destinations are the New York area and the San Francisco Bay Area.
I see. Okay. So what would be the next step if one need help?
There are 1-800 hotline numbers that victims of trafficking, if you feel like you have been victimized or you know someone who's a victim of human trafficking, it's important to help that person reach out for help. There's a 1-800 hotline number. They can call 911. There are community-based organizations in each county that can assist these men and women who have been trafficked.
So they can call you too, and you will refer them to those organizations, correct?
Absolutely.
What is your phone number?
We can be reached here at the law offices of Christina Chen at 415-441-8778.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you the next video.
Thank you.